Hello, folks. Because Bob 942 asked for it, we're taking off the disguise as a mask. Boo Bob. Okay. Comb the hair a little bit. Now, Bob was experimenting making iron clothing. Now, I'm not going to set up and make inflammable object for two reasons. Okay, I do a lot of research, and this stuff is good. I wrote it down. Yeah, damn it, dropped it on the floor. Okay, this is one of the books I double checked on it. All right, on making iron clothes for use in the woods to go trapping. Sorry. Yeah. Damn. Okay, the word is ALUN. Now, a lot of people like Bob are visual people. Old Sarge here has to deal with those kinds of people. So let's take off the Halloween costume. Actually, I use it for sleeping. It keeps me warm. That's why at 4:30 in the morning I'm doing this, because I'm supposed to have bed rest. But people ask me questions. Why can't you make a video and show us how you do it? Well, the reason why they didn't have, they had cotton, they had furs, they had regular clothing back in the old days. We're talking about 110 years ago or further. Okay, this is why I do research. And then when I see Bob doing what his dad used to do, it's an old timer's trick. Okay, I have another two books. I always check. Okay, here's the other one from the 40s and 50s. Okay, waterproofing. This is a canvas tent. You have to be careful when you do stuff like this. That's why the old timers put in 4 teaspoons of aluminum in a shallow pot with beeswax. Not paraffin, beeswax. Reason why is paraffin, they found out, in upcoming synthetic materials tend to catch on fire. Now, first in synthetic material was nylon. That mixture did not work well, and it basically was an accelerant. It's morning. It's an accelerant. If everybody remember what I showed you in my fire kit, plastic and fire don't mix, and when you add paraffin on top of it, it makes kind of worser. Okay. Now, another book that I use as a reference and a guide on waterproofing and doping things usually is the Boy Scouts. Now, I use Kep Arts because it's close to the Boy Scout mixture, and they do tell you to add this powder into the mix for cotton or canvas. Okay? A lot of old timers in their kitchen had this powder, Alum powder. Okay? ALUM. It was used in the pickling process when you make dill pickles to keep it crisp. Simple. Okay? They don't do it anymore because it's not necessary. But in the old days, they used to do it if you have to can pickles. Okay? Sorry. I have to get ready for 8:45 appointment therapy. I have to go through all the screenings. I have to keep telling them, no, do not give me that shot unless you have an ICU bed. and right now they're packed. Okay, so using historical data, this, Bob, it's called a book. Read one. Find out the fireproofing compound, and they used beeswax. Reason why, did more research. The Royal Navy had a problem. They were trying to waterproof synthetic suits. This wasn't nylon, it was some kind of mixed blend synthetic. So somebody came up with the old idea, well, they use beeswax and Alum in the old days during World War II, and it worked well, waterproofed everything. Only problem is, well, this is the English or British Navy, and we have to budget cut. Do you know how much money beeswax costs? So they used paraffin wax, and they said, why do we need this pickling spice? It's aluminum sulfate. We don't need that. God even tells this one, and this is before synthetics, that when you treat a waxed cotton, it makes it flammable. If you treat it to any fiber, it makes it flammable. Beeswax was the favorite because they did have paraffin wax in the 1890s and the 1950s, and they had weird results. Now, China is probably using a weird formula for their paraffin wax. It contains other chemicals, so you have to be very, very careful. Keep telling this to people, but nobody listens to the guy wearing the glasses going like this to them. Okay? You have to be very careful when you're doing stuff like my granddad did it, or my great-grandfather did it, or my cousin Earl on my mother's side, third generation. Okay? We don't want to do that. Now, back to the British Royal Navy in the 80s. You can look it up. Flammable uniforms of the British Navies. They had a one-piece jumpsuit synthetic that they're trying to waterproof for the Navy crew. This was for machinists, electricians, people that works with sparks and flame. Unfortunately, when they did the combination, synthetic material, paraffin wax, and no aluminum powder. Don't need that. We're modern. It waterproofs it. It saves us on silicone spray. That's why they invented silicone spray. So you don't have, like Bob does, paint on the wax. Okay? It was commonplace for tents and clothing during these time periods. Okay? You have to be very careful. In the lawsuit against the British Admiralty, two men, young men, stupid, basic airmen or basic seamen or whatever, one was smoking. Yeah, I'll just light up, wearing my flammable waterproof clothing, and next thing he was a flaming sailor. Okay? You have to be very, very careful, folks, because some of this old stuff will kill you. And I like to read, and also Boy Scout, because if you read any old Boy Scout, that's how they used to make their tents. They were covered in beeswax and from their mom's kitchen supplies. You can find this still, like McCormick's. You go look up, punch into Bing or Google aluminum, not aluminum, alum powder and pickling process, or dill pickle process. It's an old term. Okay. 1890s. I track things down and always double check. Now, Bob smokes. Bob works in machinery. So, and also Bob listens and uses baggies. Good Bob. Smart. to store stuff in the pockets. I have same thing, but I didn't whatchamacallit, iron coat it because I don't really need it and I live in the desert. So I don't want to be a melted candle. And rain here is like, yep, that was rain. And further storms. Well, did the other storm hit you? What storm? I live in the desert. So I don't really need iron-proof my clothes. It's beneficial when I do it on pants. Okay? But other than that, reason why, because I have tumbleweeds and stickers you wouldn't believe. Now, before I close this up, I'd like to give out a shout out for these folks. Reed of a Manifestation of Imagination, and Old School Prepper, Corsair Trainer, and Palmetto Prepared. I don't care about politics. I just like these people, and I'm a nice guy. Okay? I tell a lot of people, test the bell or ring the bell. Is your political leader or party doing the right thing? Find out. Don't take their word for it. Uncle Alan never takes the word of anybody. You know, I could use a bunch of paraffin wax like my grandfather or father did without doing research. I do research heavily. So when Uncle Alan tells you something, you better believe it. All right? Because I always triple and double check. Okay? I don't put out my comments until I check the facts. And I hope you can see this tomorrow because Uncle Alan's trying to get some rest. 3 of my doctors keep calling me, make sure you get rest, make sure you get rest. It's a little hard waking up screaming, taking off and scream and so I'm going to try and make it to Courtney's live stream tonight. Please check it out. I'm going to try to put it in the description below. It takes me a little time because I hurt like hell. Okay? And I will get back to why you should avoid the homestead prepper. The trouble with the homestead prepper, this is why I tell people to watch No Blade of Grass. So people don't it's kind of racist, Uncle Al. It's kind of outdated, Uncle Al. And I slap them in the back of the head and tell them to watch the movie again. It was made in 1971, Uncle Al, with no famous people in England. This is why Uncle Al has a headache. They never read the book. They don't understand the material. This is why I got four ulcers in the Air Force doing paperwork. Now, I carried a lot of pew-pew, but I also had a lot of paperwork on an IBM Selecta typewriter with carbon paper and a lot of whiteout. Not my favorite topic to do. Okay, because most of the time, a lot of buck sergeants and airmen did stupid-ass things. Sorry about the cursing. So when you hear somebody do on YouTube, it's a great idea, always look, double check the information. Because sometimes they goof it up and forget things out of the formula, and then you have a flaming Bob or a flaming airman or a flaming sailor. Now, those families who sued for the death of those 2 young sailors, they made buku buck because that's why they switched to more natural fiber and also silicone sprays that doesn't burn. Okay, sorry this takes so long, but Bob wanted a video, and let's see you make this. Okay, there's plenty of videos that does that. I prefer finding out the truth and facts and the compound they used. Now, the old timers, when they had leftover wax with this one with 4 teaspoons in it, they will have, you get an empty pipe and you fill it up with the wax, make a slug out of it or a stick. So when your tent leaks, you rub it on like chapstick. And there was also an early form of chapstick with beeswax and aluminum and keep your lips nice and soft and waterproof. Okay, simple. You add other things, you can make lipstick out of it. But also in lipstick, this is the prime ingredient. Okay, you have to understand what's going on. You just can't go, my dad used to do it and I saw him when I was 12 years old. Doesn't work like that. Okay, always double check your facts. Bob did 2 great videos on it. Go check it out. It does work. It does formulate. But be careful. You do not want to be like those British sailors. Because once the weather gets warm, that wax will start to melt. And Bob smokes. So one of these days, what's that flaming in his garage? Or what's that flaming outside? You have to remember. You have to always double check your facts. Okay, that's why I'm not set up. And 2, the old timers use damn it. Sorry. They make leftover wax into these little sticks. Use a piece of pipe and pour that in. And then once it's warm enough, pop it out. And you have a little stick to waterproof your boot, waterproof your tent. Okay. And it's there in your pack. Okay. This is a 2 volume, and it's in both volumes explaining this. So, like I said, I do research. I'll catch you guys later. Sorry, I'm starting to grasp you out. So, I'll see you later, folks. You have a nice day.